All right, we are live. Welcome to US Golf TV and VLS Golf. I'm Todd Kolb, PGA golf instructor and director of instruction here for the US Golf TV team, VLS Golf, the book, the bad lie, all the great stuff. So first of all, we appreciate you being here, taking some time out of your busy schedule and talking about this great game of golf that we all love. And so today we're going to be talking about putting. And specifically, I'm going to share with you a story of one of our students, Walt, who's, I'm not sure exactly how old Walt is, but let's just put it this way. He's closer to 80 than he is to 70. And a lesson that I gave him and how to improve his putting. And then as a result, he shot his age. And I really think some of the things that him and I talked about could really help you. So you know what we do here before we get rock and rolling. I need a couple thumbs up that you can hear us. Can you see us? How's the audio? How's the video? I got my main man, Nick, behind the camera. Nick, give him the thumbs up. There he is. Okay. And also let us know where you're from. It's one of our favorite things is we love hearing where you're from. Put that in the chat. Don't be bashful. We get excited. We get excited when we hear where people are from. And of course, at the end, we're going to save some time to be talking about questions that you might have. All right. Now, the other thing I want you to start putting in there, because we want to give everybody a little bit of time here. We'd like to give everybody about 60 to 90 seconds to get logged in and get going. But what type of putter are you using? Okay, what type of putter are you using? Today, I'm going to be using the G-Track. I'm pretty proud of this putter. The team and Nick and Jordy and JT, we came up with this G-Track putter. And Nick's got something special for you at the end. But we're going to use this from a demonstration standpoint. But for years when I putted, I use this putter right here, Scotty Cameron. Great putter. Great club designer. Scotty Cameron makes some great putters. So put that in the chat too. Where are you from? Look at this, Nick. We got people logging in. We got Canada. We got Florida. Okay, be sure to let us know where you're from. Put that in the chat right there and let us know that you can hear us. Give us a little bit of a thumbs up. We're going to give it about another 15 to 20 seconds here. And then we're going to be getting right after. We're talking about putting. So look, we got people from England, PA, North Carolina. Here they come, Nick. Minnesota. Fantastic. We love hearing where you're from, and we love talking about this wonderful game of golf. So we got some people using the long putter. Fantastic. We got Texas. We got San Diego. We got people jumping in. So start thinking about your questions, and don't be afraid to put those in the chat right now. Nick's got his notepad out, and he's going to start taking some notes and some things that we're talking about. San Diego, Colorado. All right, we got about another 10 seconds here, and then we're going to start getting into this Florida. Hey, Robert. What's the weather like in Florida right now? Are you looking out the window? What are you seeing? We're getting a lot of rain right here in the Midwest right now. So I'd just be curious. South Africa. Nick, South Africa. Yeah. Huh? What's the weather like in South Africa right now? That's the place we got to get to. All right. Hey, let's get rolling. We got most of you here right now. We're going to get after this. For those of you who are just getting here, tell us where you're from. Put it in the chat. What type of putter are you using? So today we're talking specifically about putting. And one of our students, his name is Walt, great guy. Walt is a former college basketball player, and I don't know Walt's exact age. I don't like to ask people their exact age. You know how that is, right? As we get to experienced golfers, we get over 40, we get over 50. We don't really want to talk about that. I know he's closer to 80 than 70, but he's a very good athlete. And like a lot of you out there, he has certain goals that he's trying to hit. Maybe he's trying to break 90 or 100. Or trying to break 80, whatever it might be. But for him, he was this close to shooting his age. And when I ran into him last time, we worked on his putting because he said, Todd, I'm really close to shooting my age. It's been a lifetime goal of mine, a dream of mine to be able to shoot my age. And I'm missing a lot of 3 to 6 footers. And if I could just clean up a couple of those, I could shoot my age. And whether you're working or whether I'm working with somebody who's trying to win a professional golf tournament or win a club tournament or shoot their age, the ability to help somebody achieve one of their goals is what it's all about. So today what I'm going to share with you is the 3 things that we talked about. Okay. And at the end, I'm also going to give you my 2 favorite drills that I give all of my students, no matter if they're Walt's trying to shoot his age or a tour professional. And if we have time, I'm not sure if we're going to have time, but at the end, I came across a process that I shared with one of my tour pros that drastically helped her improve her putting. All right, so here we go. Let's get after it. So the first thing that we talked about to help with our putting was the grip. So I'm going to go ahead and grab the G-Track here. Now with putting, how we grip the club is a huge thing. So Walt was missing these short putts. Now typically if you're missing short putts, Okay, it's because we're not getting the ball started on line. Okay, if you're missing a 3, 4, 5 footer, I hope you're not struggling with distance control, right? Because you're only a few feet away from the hole. Typically, we're not getting the ball started on line. So one of the first things that Walt and I worked on is we took his lead hand and we moved it slightly down the club shaft. Okay, so I got the G track here. You can see it. So I took my lead hand and I just moved it slightly down the club shaft. Now, when you move your lead hand down the club shaft, and I'm going to give you a couple checkpoints for this in a second, what that does is it stabilizes the face a little bit, okay? So when I grip it and I move my lead hand down the shaft, lead hand, we call this lead hand low or left hand low, whatever you want to call it, that can help stabilize the shaft, okay? And when it stabilizes the shaft, that helps keep the club face nice and square. So if you're missing some very short putts, okay, we'll talk a little bit about yips. See, I hate that word, yips, in a second, right? We'll talk about that in a second here also. But there's a couple things that we can do to help you with that. All right. So the first tip I gave him was move down. Now, when you move your lead hand down, I'll take a look at this from down the line view. When you take your lead arm and you move it down the shaft, this is an important part. This is something this is one of these points where you get your pen out or your pencil and your piece of paper and you jot this down. This is one of these golden nuggets we talk about. When you move your lead hand down, make sure that it's in line with your forearm. So we got my main man, Nick, behind the camera. You can see how he's kind of zoomed in on that. See how the putter shaft is in line with my forearms? This would be good. This would be bad. See the difference there? So see how the putter shaft is on this line, but my forearm's on that line. This would be bad. This would be good. Now, why is that? Okay, because when the putter shaft is at this angle, let's just say the putter shaft is at a 45-degree angle for sake of discussion, but my arm is at a 90-degree angle for sake of discussion. Well, these two angles, when they start to move, are not going to want to work in unison. They're not going to synchronize. But when I take my putter shaft and I move it more up into here, now the two work together and they work on the same angle and the same path. Okay, is that making sense? So the first tip that I would give you when it comes to your putting would be, if you're struggling with it, go ahead and take your lead hand and move it down the shaft a little bit like this, and then go ahead and take your trail hand and just kind of place it on there however you want. Okay, now here's a great drill that you can also do for that. Okay, I got a couple drills I'm going to share with you at the end that I give all of my students, but when I have students who are really struggling with short putts, I will have them hit a lot of putts with their lead hand only. So they just kind of get it locked in and boom. And now what they're working on there is some good face control. Okay, when the lead arm is moving forward this way, okay, then boom, the face is staying square. Now watch the butt end of the club here. If you're struggling with the yips, pay attention. This is for you. If you're struggling with the yips, pay attention. When we struggle with the yips, typically what happens is that as we come into the moment of impact, we pop it. And watch where the butt end of the club goes. This is why I love the G track, because it's longer and it's easier to see and feel. Okay, if I slap it or yip it, see where the butt end goes? It goes backwards. But if you hit putts, which is your lead hand only, and you feel like the butt end of the putter is working towards the target this way, boom, then you'll be able to control that face. All right, making sense? So that's the first tip that Walt and I worked on. We took his lead hand and we moved it down. For those of you now who are just getting here, okay, we're talking about putting. 3 specific things that we can do in our putting, along with a couple drills we're going to talk about here towards the end. And Nick's going to give us I'm going to work him over here a little bit today. He's going to give us a little bit of a discount, or he's got to give us something. You're here, you're spending time. He's going to give you something before we're done. And also, we want to start something new. Everybody out here they like to see the thumbs up from Nick, right? So what we're going to do is, when I ask Nick to give the thumbs up, what I'd like you to also do is go into the video right here where you're at and click the thumbs up on the video. All right. So Nick, give him the thumbs up right now. There's the thumb. All right. We got the thumb. Now do us a favor. You click the thumbs up button also on your screen. Okay. So that we can let people know that you're liking it. All right, here we go. The second tip that I gave Walt was I moved more weight onto his lead foot. Okay. I moved more weight onto his lead foot. So when he was set in there, okay, he had a little bit too much weight on his trail foot. Now, if you follow any of our stuff here in the vertical line swing, okay, in the book, The Bad Lie, and specifically in the book, The Bad Lie, okay, chapter 24, we talk a little bit about putting, okay? But the team and I are working on a brand new book that is strictly short game. Strictly short game. That's coming out second half of the summer. But you know, in our philosophy, we like the 60-40 split. We like more weight on the lead foot than on the trail foot. So that is also true when it comes to putting. If you feel like you're moving around and your head is moving, and I got a tip for your head movement here in a second, but if you feel like you're moving around, okay, getting more weight on the lead foot can drastically help that. So when he was set in there, I just said, all right, Walt, we got the lead hand kind of locked in. Now I want you to feel like you got about 70% of your weight on your lead foot. See that? Everybody see that? Boom. See how my weight went forward? All right. That's a great feel for you to have because it will stabilize your body. A lot of us, when we struggle with putting, okay, we're set in here and our weight moves. See where our weight wants to go backwards. All right. So we're set in there. We got the lead arm down a little bit. Boom. We go lead foot heavy, about 70%. We feel like it stays there throughout the motion. That stabilizes the body. That stabilizes all of the moving parts and allows us to bring that club face back to a square position. Making sense? Okay, I hope we're making sense. For those of you just getting here, throw it in the chat. Where are you from? Fantastic. We've got people from North Carolina. We got Wales. Okay, what's it like in Wales right now? I have never been there, but people love golf all over the world, and we appreciate you all being here. All right, now let's get into the third thing, and then we're going to get into some questions, and I got a couple drills that I want to share with you. Okay, the third thing was a drill. I gave Walt the drill. This is probably my favorite drill. I guarantee you've never seen this drill somewhere else. Okay, but this is a golden nugget. This is, once again, one of those things that you want to write down. Okay, write this one down because this will help you. I guarantee it. We call it the look away drill. Now, I came up with this drill years ago. And matter of fact, in a PGA magazine one time, when I did an interview, they asked for a couple drills, and this is the drill that I gave them. This was back when I was kind of a flat belly. I was not an experienced golfer at that time. Right? Okay, so here's what you're going to do. I got my golf ball. I got my G-Track. I'm just going to take a coin. I got a quarter. You could take a golf tee, a ball marker. Doesn't matter. Something small. And what you're going to do is you're going to take the quarter or the object, and you're going to put it directly behind the golf ball. Okay, so it's directly behind the golf ball. My main man Nick's right there. He can show it for us there. Okay, golf ball, object directly behind the golf ball. Everybody see that? Now, here's the thing. This is the thing about playing golf, and this is what I hope this is what you get when you come to us here at US Golf TV and VLS Golf, is we like to tell you what to do, not what not to do. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? So what I'm saying there is, like, you'll take a golf lesson, you'll watch a golf video and say, hey, quit coming over the top. Jimmy, quit coming over the top. You're like, well, I know that, but like, how do I do that? Okay, how do I do that? We're going to tie this in a second, so just stick with me here, because this is at the heart of why this drill works. Okay, as a golf coach, all right, I can get a lot of success with students when I give them something to do versus telling them not to do something. Let me say that again. Okay, because this is important as you work through the progress and as you work through the vertical line swing and all the stuff that you're working on in your golf game. When a good coach will give you something to do versus telling you not to do something. So let's tie that into this drill. It's called the look away drill. So when you're set in here, okay, you get set in, you got your weight a little bit forward, you got your lead arm down, if you like that or whatever, okay. And so what you're going to do is right at the moment of impact, right as you come in contact with that golf ball, what you're going to do is look back at that object. In this particular situation, it's the quarter, okay? And you're going to keep looking at that object until you believe that the ball has reached the cup, okay? So let me go ahead and demonstrate it, and then we're going to do it from the other angle so you can see it. So here we go. I'm set in. I got my lead arm down. I got my weight forward. Come in contact. I'm looking, boom. Okay, so I'm looking back at that quarter until I believe that the ball has reached the cup, or in this particular situation, the wall. So let me go ahead and do it from the face-on view, or so you can see it from this way. Now, for those of you out there, and this is, like I said earlier, hopefully why you come to US Golf TV, okay, when you're looking at the quarter in this example, or the tee, what are you not doing? You're not pulling your head up. You're not looking at the ball. You're not looking at the cup. You're not coming out of the putt. Okay, so you will be amazed that instead of somebody saying, hey, you're pulling your head, quit pulling your head or quit moving your eyes or whatever they're telling you, all the negative, don't do. When somebody tells you that, give them, I like to say, give them the Heisman. You know what I mean? Give them the Heisman. Like, get out of here. I don't want to listen to you. But what I want to do is give you something to do. So you're set in here, right? Everybody see that? We got the quarter right there. I'm just going to say I'm putting one to the wall over here. So I'm set in, lead arm down, weight forward, contact, back, and then boom, I look forward. I promise you, we call this the look away drill. It's one of my favorite drills, and it'll definitely improve your putting. All right, let's get into a couple questions here, Nick. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to circle back and share with you a couple of those drills that I love. Look at the thumbs up. Fantastic. We got a lot of great people. For those of you who are just getting here, we're talking about putting today. We're talking about putting. Throw in the chat, where are you from? We love hearing where you're from. It's one of our favorite things to do. Nick, let's give him the thumbs up again. Boom, we got the thumbs up. And you know the routine. When Nick gives you the thumbs up, that's your key to give this video a thumbs up. So let's see those thumbs ups right there. We're at 24. Let's get that thing up a little bit. If you're just logging on, give us the thumbs up. All right, Nick, what do we got for a question?
Yeah, Matthew was asking, what is the ideal loft you think for a putter?
Oh, wow. Matthew, fantastic. This is a great question. Matthew, where are you from? Let's see it. Let's see it here in the chat right here. Where are you from? This is a great question, He asked how much loft should be on your putter. Okay, believe it or not, every putter has loft on it. Every putter has loft on it, right? Now, this probably doesn't apply to you experienced golfers out there, okay? But we worked with a lot of young guys and gals, and you know how we are when we're young. We're a little bit full of vinegar. We got a little edge to us. We're a little fired up. We maybe say some words we shouldn't say. We've all done it, right? What do we also do? We like to kick our dang putter. You know, you're young, you're growing up. So the first thing I would tell you is that don't kick your putter. And also, about once a year, especially if you travel a lot when you're golfing, go in and have the loft of your putter checked. Putting it in and out of the car, in and out of the cart, on an airplane. Okay, these things, your clubs are bouncing around, can impact the loft on your putter. Okay, so that'd be the first tip I'd give you. This is a great question. Now, how much loft should be in your putter? Typically, standard putters will have around 3 degrees of loft, give or take a little bit. That's what they've determined is the ideal loft and impact to get the ball slightly up in the air, hop, and start rolling forward. Now, with the G-Track, we actually put a little less loft on there. Now, we did that by design because most golfers, 9 out of 10 golfers that I see, if they have a mistake, they add loft at impact. So they start with 3 degrees, but at impact, they add 3 more. Now they're at 6 degrees of loft. Now, here's another golden nugget tip for you. How do you know if you're not delivering the right loft at impact? So the standard is 3, give or take a little bit, okay? We put 2 on the G-Track because we know that most amateur golfers add loft. We want to give them some forgiveness area. But the easiest way to tell if you're not delivering the proper loft at impact is distance control. If you're struggling with distance control, I would bet you dollars to donuts, as we like to say here in the Midwest, dollars to donuts, that when you're at impact, you're adding loft. Now, if you're adding loft, it could be because the putter has too much loft because it was bent, or you're doing it in your stroke. How do you get away from that? Boom, get the butt end of the club a little bit forward at impact. So long-winded answer to your question, but that's an important part of what we're doing there. All right, Nick, what else we got? Look at these great people. We got people from Spain, Arkansas. For those of you just getting here, give us a thumbs up. Right now, we're at 28. We got to get this thing over 30 and that thumbs up. And if you got questions, put them in there. Nick, what else we got?
Yeah, Colin asked, you mentioned the lead arm, same angle as the shaft. What about the trail arm?
Okay, fantastic. Who asked this question?
Colin.
Colin, you are a student of the game. I can tell this right here because you're very detailed. I love that. That's why we love our fans here at VLS Golf and US Golf TV. All right. So the question that he asked, okay, Colin asked, and Colin, where are you from? Throw that in the chat right there because that's a really good question. All right. So is on the lead arm, yes, we want it in line with the form. Now, I would say this. If you look at, a lot of good putters also have the trail arm also in line with the form. So in essence, the 2 forearms are on the same line as the putter. So everybody see that? So basically the putter shaft is an extension of my arms, my forearms, right? Everybody sees that? Now, I would say this. It is far better Okay, everybody here's an experienced golfer. Most of us are. Think of some of the all-time. How about Jack Nicklaus? Let's think about. He's pretty good, right? Okay. You will more likely see people where their trail arm is underneath, see, than you would on top. I shouldn't say never. I hate the word never because in golf there's always exceptions to the rule. But very, very seldom have I ever seen a great putter where their trail arm is above their front arm. See that? But I've seen great putters where they're matched. I've also seen great putters that are a little bit underneath, i.e. Jack. Think of Jack Nicklaus, right? He's kind of down in here like this, right? Kind of tilted the head a little bit, and boom, he's like this, right? He's kind of set like that. That's kind of Jack Nicklaus, right? So, long answer to your question there. Better to have them in line or the form slightly underneath a little bit. All right, Nick, let's get another question. I got a couple drills I want to share with the group. But for those of you just logging on, welcome here. We're talking about putting. Throw those questions in the chat. We're here to help you play better golf.
Yeah, Jose asks, is putter grip a personal preference?
Okay, let's talk about putter grip. Great question. So there's a lot of different styles of putting. Okay, a lot of different. If you go to your local golf shop, there's like probably 50 different styles of putters. For the most part, irons, they kind of all look the same. Some are cavity back, some are more blade, but for the most part, they kind of look the same. Same with woods. Okay, but in putters, wide varieties of styles in the head, but also in the grip. So yes, it's a little bit more of a personal preference. Now, I would say this. Some people like a little bit thicker grip. So like on the G-Track putter right here, we've got a thicker grip, okay, because we like the putter to be a little bit more into the palms. Now, there are also great putters, like, for example, Tiger Woods. We were at the Masters a few weeks ago, and we were watching Tiger Woods putt, and one of the drills I'm going to share with you is a drill he was doing. Now, I'm not going to say he got it from us, but hey, maybe he did. I don't know. What do you think, Nick? Maybe he got it from us. What? I don't know. Nick, give him the thumbs up on that because, yeah, all right, there it is. There's a thumbs up. You know it. Once you see Nick's thumbs up, give the video a thumbs up as well. But I would say that generally speaking, a thicker grip is better for most golfers, but there are some golfers like Tiger Woods who has a little bit of a thinner grip because he likes the club a little bit more in his fingers. So in a nutshell, you got to find what works best for you. Now, let me get into a couple drills. I promised you a couple drills, okay, that I would give you. So here's one drill that I give all of my students, okay, and I'll demonstrate. I'm going to go back to the Scotty Cameron right here, okay, just because you can do these drills with any putter. Doesn't have to be the G-Track. And Nick's, before we're done here, Nick's got to give you guys and gals something out there for free. Nick, put it in right now. They've waited long enough. Nick's like, he's kind of tightwad over here today. Like, he's going to put something in there. We're going to give everybody, I think, $20 or something like that off on a putter for just logging in and being here. We just appreciate you being part of our community. So here's the first drill that I give everybody. Okay, remember the second thing that we talked about with Walt, how we wanted to stabilize his body, and we stabilize his body by getting more weight on his lead foot. So the drill that I would have you do is just simply hit some putts off your lead foot only. So I'll demonstrate from just kind of down the line right here. So I go ahead and just take my trail foot and I put it back almost like a kickstand. Boom. Now, some of you will have more weight on there because you need it before balance. Some of you can almost lift it up and off the ground based on your balance and your stability. But the idea is you got all your weight on your lead foot. Your trail foot is just kind of like a kickstand and just hit some putts. Now, once again, okay, this is about the philosophy that we believe here at VLS Golf and hopefully why you come here, because we give you things to do to help you improve. This is my whole take. Sometimes in traditional golf instruction, we focus so much on what not to do that we don't tell people what they should do. So if we want to stabilize your body, if I'm giving you a golf lesson and your head's all over and your weight's moving all over, I'm not going to tell you, well, quit moving your head. You know that, okay? But what I will do is say, hey, Bill, Jim, Mary, let's do this drill. Balance on your lead foot, use your trail foot as a kickstand, hit some putts, and just feel that. What do you feel? And they'll typically say, I feel solid. I feel less movement. I feel stable. I'll say, okay, let's hit a couple putts, maybe a 3-setter, right? We love the 3-setters. And then say, let's just hit a normal putt and try to recreate that feel. Okay, and boom, that'll happen. So that's the first drill that I give everybody. The second drill that I give everybody, and we saw Tiger Woods doing this drill, and that is you just hit putts with your trail hand only. So I'm a right-handed golfer, so I grip the club on my trail hand, which is my right hand, take my lead hand, I just kind of put it in my pocket, and I just go ahead and hit some putts. Boom. See that? Just hitting putts, okay? Now, why does that work? Well, I'll give that drill to a lot of my golfers who struggle with distance, right? Because my touch and my feel is in my dominant hand. That's what I write with. That's what I eat with. That's what I throw a ball with, right? And so this is where my touch and my feel is. So I want to get that. I want to pull that out. I want to pull that out of my students. So I'll just say, all right, let's just hit some putts with your trail hand only. Boom, boom. Now, here's a little bit of a tip. If you're struggling with distance control, do the trail hand only putts. But what did you learn earlier? What did you learn earlier? That if you're struggling with distance control with your putter, you're probably what? Adding loft, right? You're adding loft. So when you do this drill, just feel like the butt end of the club moves forward. See that? Butt end of the front club goes forward. Boom. Right there. Everybody see that? Versus the butt end of the club going backwards. This adds loft. Watch the butt end. Here's the butt end right here. Watch here. Butt end goes backwards, adds loft. Butt end goes forward, maintains loft. Okay? That's a golden nugget right there. You probably won't hear that anywhere else. All right, Nick, let's get into a couple more questions here. We've got some great group. For those of you just jumping on, welcome. US Golf TV, VLS Golf. Okay, we got my main man, Nick, here, and we're talking about putting. We're talking about putting. And tell us where you're from if you just got here. Give us the thumbs up in the video. We're already at 35 thumbs up there in the video. We'd love to get over 40. All right, Nick, what else we got?
Yeah, this one comes from Earl, who says he's one of those experienced golfers. He tends to use his pointer finger down the shaft. Is that a bad habit?
Okay, Earl, my main man, Earl, you are an experienced golfer just like the rest of us. Hey, I hope you're enjoying the channel. I hope you're learning some stuff. All right, we got the book, The Bad Lie. You know what I mean? Follow us on Instagram also. We're on Instagram. We're on Twitter. Okay, check us out there as well. Now, what Earl's saying is he's got his trail finger. I'm assuming it's your index finger kind of down the shaft, kind of like that. Okay, I've seen that. Okay, what I would say, Earl, is this. As long as it's not overtaking, the stroke, I think it's okay, right? If it's overtaking, then that will start to what, Earl? Add a little loft, right? Boom, add a little loft. We don't want that, right? So just make sure that that trail finger is passive. Now, some people will feel like that trail finger, they can just take it and kind of, boom, paint it right down the line. That's a good feel. See the angle, my trail wrist there, Earl? This is good, right? Boom. So if you want to do that, okay, Earl, we might steal this from you because this is a pretty good idea. Nick, I see Nikki's writing some stuff down right there. Earl, you might see this on one of our YouTube videos. The trail finger drill. We'll give you credit, my friend. We'll give you credit. So see this? Earl's talking about his trail finger. So if you keep the trail finger, boom, pointed, see how it points at my lead foot, my left foot? This would be good. That's good. That's bad. See that? Now it's pointing at the target. Bad at the target. Good. Pointing down. So in a nutshell, I think it's okay. Just make sure it doesn't become overactive. And thank you for the idea. We might put that in one of our YouTube videos. All right, Nick, what else we got? Let's get into a couple more questions here.
Yeah, you bet. So Hector is asking, where in the stance should the ball be?
Ooh, okay, Hector. I was gonna get a drink of water there, but man, that was a great question.
I can vamp for a little bit.
All right, come on, Nick. Yeah.
No, yeah. So it's let's see. We had I did have one other question that was similar to that. Yeah, another ball. I had two different people asking about ball.
Okay, let's talk about ball position. Fantastic. Let's talk about ball position because this is a key thing. All right. So, and I was saying earlier, the team and I have been working hard on a new book. You know, we've got The Bad Lie. You can kind of see it right there. You can get it on Amazon. Hey, right there. Get it a little shot on there, Nick. Thank you. Hey, give us some love. Go to Amazon. Check it out. Get the book a little bit. I think you'll find it really helpful. We go through the whole vertical line swing. We cover a lot of great stuff. It's like, I don't know what it is, $20 on Amazon or whatever. And leave us a review if you wouldn't mind and share it with some of your fellow experienced golfers out there. But The Bad Lie is primarily focused on the full swing, the whole vertical line swing concept. And so we wanted to do a deeper dive into the short game. And so we're working on that second book right now. It's pretty close to being wrapped up. Really proud of it. I think you guys and gals out there are going to love it. I really do. But we dive deep into ball position. So let's talk a little bit about that. So in ball position, we know this, and I don't want to get too deep here, but we know that in an ideal putting motion, we want to come in contact with the golf ball as the putter head ideally is traveling in an ever so slight upward motion. Okay. Now there's only 2 times in golf where we want the club to come in contact with the ball when it's traveling in just an ever so slight upward motion. Does anybody know what the first one, other than putting is one of them. And we're talking just like a degree or so. It's very little. But does anybody know when the other time is that we want the club to come in contact with the golf ball when it's traveling up? If you know that answer, put it in the chat real quick, and Nick and I will give you something. When is the other time, other than putting, when is the other time when the club comes in contact with the golf ball when it's traveling in a slight upward motion? All right, Nick will keep an eye on the chat as soon as we see the correct answer right there. So when it comes to putt, oh, dude, look, these guys we got a smart group out there, Nick. Driver, very good. All right, James, you're my winner on the driver. John, you were correct too, but James was in first. I think James just has faster internet speed. I don't know. All right. Okay, so we'll Nick, have him get a hold of you. Maybe put your email in there or whatever. Nick will get a hold of you. Okay, now back to the question. We want to come in contact with the golf ball as the club is traveling in ever so slight upward motion. So we know, right? We know that for the vast majority of us, the middle of our swing is kind of where the buttons are on a golf shirt. So in a nutshell, we want the ball to be positioned ever so slightly forward of center. So I've got this wonderful logo on here, the Masters logo. Just super blessed and special to be able to go there. If you ever get a chance to go to Augusta and watch the Masters, spend the money and go. I promise you, you will not be disappointed. If you love golf, you got to go at least once in your life. So we want that ball to be basically positioned somewhere between the buttons on my shirt and the Masters logo. Okay. Now, I also like that weight to be a little bit forward. Okay. You know that. So a little bit forward. So in a nutshell, back to your question, ball slightly forward of center so we can come in contact when it's traveling ever so upward. Now, we got a lot of people who are just logging on right now. Thank you for coming and being here. We're talking about putting. All right. If you're just getting here, put it in the chat where you're from. We love hearing where you're from. Now, next week, we're going to answer some more questions here, so don't log off right now. But I want to let you know that next week, okay, May 7th, next week, we're going in the evening. We're going to do an evening live session, 7 p.m. Central, okay? And matter of fact, if you want to get updates on this, Nick will put his email in there. He'll put his email in there. If you want updates on when we're going live, email Nick, and he will tell you. Matter of fact, you can even sign up for our list where you get a text notification and you click it on your phone and boom, you get it no matter where you're at right on your phone. So Nick will put his email in there. You can contact him if you want that. So, all right, what else do we got for some questions, Nick?
Catching me off guard. I was writing an email in there, so give me 1 second here. I did have another good one. Where was it? Good stance on the ball position.
Let's talk about this. Let me give you an idea. Why Nick's going to put his email in there because I'm catching him off guard. I got him humming over there. I want to share with you something that I came across working with one of my tour professionals. Okay. And I haven't fully tested this out yet. So I'm going to need you to go out and test this out and let us know if this actually works. Because I've never talked about this with putting, but I can tell you that it drastically worked for the students. So let's talk about this. In the golf swing, how we talk a lot about the sequence, right? Remember how the arms take the club up and the body takes it around, right? The arms take it up and the body takes it around, right? And then we talk a lot about the sequence. What happens in the sequence of the golf swing? When did the body pivot? When do the arms go? The same thing is true with putting. You have body rotation movement, right? Because when I move the putter, my upper body turns. It doesn't shift weight, but it rotates, and my arms swing. So here's what I want you to do. This is a drill. If you're a right-handed golfer, jot this one down. This is a golden nugget right here. We've never talked about this before. Matter of fact, we got to do a video on this. If you're missing putts to the right, you're a right-handed golfer, and you're missing putts to the right. Here's what I want you to do. I want you to grip the club with your trail hand only. And what I want you to do is keep your chest perfectly still. And I want you to feel like your arm passes your chest. So here's the center of my chest. Everybody with me, right? My arm passes my chest. Everybody see that? Boom. So what I'm actually doing is I'm speeding up my arm swing. relative to my body. Versus if you miss putts to the right, your body is outpacing your, this is exaggerated, but your body is outpacing your arms. And when your body outpaces your arms, that leaves the putter face open and you're prone to shoving putts to the right. So what I want you to feel is I want you to feel like your arm, boom, feel that? Arm passes the chest versus chest over rotating the arms, okay? Now, I got to flush that out yet. That's a new concept that I came across that I'm still working through, but I really believe that it can help us. And I see Nick writing some notes down there because he's going to want to do a YouTube video on that. All right, Nick, let's get into a couple more questions. For those of you just jumping on, we're talking about putting. You can see there in the video, Nick, give him the thumbs up. There's the thumbs up. Okay, so that is your key to, on the video, click the thumbs up button on the video. We're at 46. We'd love to get that thing over 50. Okay, let's talk about some more questions. Nick, what else we got?
Yeah, you kind of touched on it, but just to make sure that we did, John asks, does the handle stay pointed at the belly or drag down the line?
Okay, great. John asked this?
Yes.
All right, thank you, John, for this question. Where are you from? Put it in the chat. We're answering your question, so we got to know where you're from. Come on, man. Give us some love out there. So the question becomes, the butt end of the club, where is it pointing when I finish the putting stroke? Okay, now, if we were to build a machine, okay, okay, all right, oh, John's from Savannah. Well, all right, beautiful area, John. Thank you. So, John, the butt end of the club right here, if we were to build a machine, when it finished, would point basically at your belt buckle, or, you know, it would stay the same. So it points at my belt buckle at the setup right here, okay? It stays there and it finishes there. If we were to build a robot, okay? We're not robots, at least not yet. Who knows where the world's going, right? But the butt end of the club, I believe for most golfers, they should feel like it points more towards their left pocket. It would be way better, John, for you to point towards your left pocket this way than it would be for it to point towards your right pocket. This would be disaster. Right pocket's disaster. Lead pocket is pretty acceptable. So I would hit some putts and just finish on that lead pocket, boom, and you'll be good to go there. Now, we're going to get into a couple more questions. But remember, next week, May 7th, 7 o'clock Central, Nick's put his email in there. If you want a notification of when we go live, email him over there. And also, what should we talk about? What should we talk? Give us some ideas. Put those ideas in the chat because we want to talk about what it is that you want to hear about. So go ahead and put that in the chat because we're looking for some ideas. Today we're talking about putting, but we could talk about drivers, irons, distance, bunkers, you name it. What do you want to hear us talk about? Put it in the chat. Nick and I will write that down. All right, Nick, what else we got for a question? We got time for a couple more here.
Yeah, so Nick B says, I'm interested in putter grip, best options to ensure a dead hands approach. Okay.
And Nick asked that question. So Nick says, hey, I'm interested in different styles of putter grips for the dead hands. Okay, 2 suggestions. Number 1, a thicker grip would be better than a thinner grip. Thicker grip is better than a thinner grip. A little hard to say, right? So that'd be number 1. When you go buy a grip, get one that's a little bit thicker. The second thing that I would tell you, okay, would be to feel like the putter, the grip of the putter is more in your palm. Get it more in your palm. Okay, now how could you do that? Okay, here's a little tip. All you are watching, you're maybe watching on your phone, you're watching on your iPad, your computer, wherever you're at. If you're just sitting there right now, just take your lead arm. Okay, take your lead arm and go ahead and see how I'm just kind of pointing it at the camera right there. Everybody can kind of see that. Nick's going to kind of zoom in here. Thanks, Nick. Okay, so here's what I want you to do. This is getting to the point of your question. So see how I'm kind of just pointing right at you. What you're going to do is take that and just rotate it this way. See that? So I'm pointing at the camera and then just rotate your palm upward. And just feel how your forearm rotates. Okay? It could rotate down this way. That'd be bad. Palm towards the ground is bad. Straight ahead is acceptable. You want to feel like you take the hands out of it, rotate the palm towards the sky. That's a golden nugget right there. Okay? This will take the hands out of the motion. This will add the hands back into the motion. This is neutral, acceptable. So when you grip it, get a thicker grip. Rotate your palm towards the sky. and go ahead and grip it. And those two things right there, I guarantee you will take your hands out of the putting motion. All right, Nick, what else we got? Hey, we appreciate it. Some of you are just getting here. All right, we're talking about putting. All right, and if you're just logging in, let us know where you're from and give us a thumbs up on the video right there. We're at 55. We might get this thing over 60 with some love out there. All right, Nick, what else we got?
So Al from Wisconsin, he asks, lead hand low or lead hand high on the putter grip?
Okay, so let's get it. So the question that he asked from Wisconsin, we love our Wisconsin Badgers. All right, I think both are acceptable. Both are acceptable. Okay, we see more golfers kind of grip the putter what we call traditional style, where the trail hand is a little bit low and the lead hand is a little bit above. But we're seeing more of this as well, where the lead hand is kind of low. I have no problem with that. Okay. Now, one of the reasons I like the G-Track putter from a standpoint of the length of it, and this is, when the team put this together, and Nick, did you give him a discount in there?
Yep. They just gonna email me and I'll give it.
Okay, Nick's going to give, if you email Nick, he's going to give you, what are you giving him?
$20 off.
Ooh.
Any purchase.
Ooh, guy, he's feeling generous today. $20. All right, $20. Worth your time. Email Nick right there. He's put it in there. And also, if you want to get a notification of when we go live, just put that in the email to Nick. He'll give you the $20 off. And he'll give you a way that you can get notified directly to your phone, like, hey, we're going live, click on right. Okay, so what I would say is this is why we made the G-Track putter a little bit longer, because what I have found is that just through the course of playing golf in the summer, there's times where you might want to be down because you feel like you're struggling with short putts and you want to really get down there, okay, like this. And there's some times where you're like, no, I'm really struggling with my distance, so I want to grip it more up here. So the beauty of having a putter grip that's a little bit longer, like in the G-Track, is you can go all the way down, okay? Or you can go up. Matter of fact, you can switch in the middle of the round, and it doesn't really matter, okay? So if you're struggling with short putts, I would go lead hand down. If your short putts are pretty good, but you struggle more with distance, I would use more of the traditional style grip. Look at this. We hit 60 thumbs up on the video. I love that. Nick, let's get into one more question here. We got one more question. Now, next week, May 7th, 7 o'clock, we're going in the evening. If you got anything particular you'd like us to talk about, throw that in the chat. Go ahead and throw that in the chat, or also go ahead and email Nick. He put his email in there, and we love hearing what it is that you want us to talk about. Nick, what else we got?
This one comes from either Gil or Gail. Not positive on the pronunciation. Putting with the eyes closed.
Okay, great question. All right, so great question. Should we ever putt with the eyes closed? I would say yes. It's a great drill because putting is about touch. Putting is about feel. And when we close our eyes, we get much more in tune with what we're feeling in our hands and our arms and our shoulders and things like that. So I would not be afraid to hit some putts with your eyes closed. And quite frankly, you might be surprised at how well you hit them, okay, and how well the ball rolls. I would add to that, this is another golden nugget. If you're really struggling with your putting, especially the short putts, okay, what you can also do, okay, is you can hit putts while looking at the hole. Boom. Okay, and when you're looking at the hole, you're focused on where you want the ball to go versus how you're going to get it there. And it's one of the real things that has come out from our discussion here today. This is the beauty of logging into the live sessions and being part of this, is sometimes we don't know where the conversation is going. But if you take one thing away from today, I would say it's this. When you're doing drills for your putting or your full swing or you're working on your game, focus on what you want to do versus what you are trying to avoid doing. We've done that today. We did this today with getting more weight on our lead foot. Just get more weight on your lead foot stabilizes the body, okay? We did that with the look away drill. When you putt, you look back at the tee or the quarter or the object, and you keep looking at that until the ball reaches the cup. That gives you something to do versus something to avoid. And even all the way here at the end, when we hit a putt and we're just looking at the hole or we're looking at our eyes closed, it's allowing us to stay calm and to stay focused. So I hope you found something interesting today. I hope you enjoyed this conversation about putting. May 7th, 7 o'clock is our next live session. And always remember, please, please, always remember that you don't have to swing and you don't have to move like a tour pro in order to play great golf and enjoy this awesome game.